Alright.
Yeah.
So, everyone get into position.
I'm pitching the bed is like so.
I'm looking at the agenda. Look at me. This is the
top 10 agendas of all time. Bro.
top 10, bro.
No.
Okay.
Don't let the wire get like pulled out or anything. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. Should we begin?
Is my beanie on, right?
Alright.
Total reveal. 3, 2, 1, go.
No, bro. Come on.
Let's get in
Don't want to
the
get age
episode.
restricted.
Let's go get the
Let's look
episode.
at it. Okay.
Alright.
3,
2,
2, 1.
1. Nice. So, welcome back to Tucked In. It's been a while, but I think we're here with, what is it, episode 6 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6, 7.
Right, so we've got me and my co-host Romeo, and then obviously we have a new person with us today.
Co-host.
New co-host, Fola.
Yeah.
So, should we
Shall
get
we
in?
begin?
Alright, let's get tucked in.
Let's get to it.
So, Fola, tell us a little bit about yourself, just for the audience.
Yeah. Let me give a little introduction. My name is Fola.
Yeah.
I live with these two. You may have heard me in the background of some of the other episodes. Sometimes I just sit into the podcast, but I've decided to take the plunge, get on the big screen. Yeah.
Big first day.
Yeah.
Big first.
Yeah, it's a first for everyone today. It's the first, yeah.
First
It's
for
the first podcast in 2026.
Yes.
No, it's not.
It's the second podcast in 2026.
It's not the first podcast.
It's the second podcast.
Not
Anyway,
the first podcast ever in 2026. Talk about
No, it's not the
Yeah.
first Tucked In either, 2026.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we're just really excited to be back. I feel like we've taken a long hiatus.
Long
Taking
hiatus.
too-
You know,
too
exams been hard.
long.
Me and Aran had to
Exams
work out some things between us.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
marriage
Like
quarrels.
after our like pregnancy scare.
Yeah, the scares. But I think we're back and we're really
Better
ready
than ever.
to give the audience what they've been missing, which is
Folder.
which is
Yes.
follow.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get started.
Alright, so what's the first thing we want to talk about? Should we get into
What's the crack?
recent politics?
Recent. What I
Or
saw
should we-
occurred 9 months ago.
Yeah, fair. So we haven't even have we even made an episode since
No, because this I swear you guys haven't made an episode talking about the big K.
yeah, we've not talked about
I
Charlie
think this is our
Kirk.
first episode in 2026. Is what I'm saying.
I think it is.
I don't think
It
is.
definitely
It
is.
definitely is.
I'm gonna check this right now.
Bro, I'm your
Okay.
biggest fan. I know it definitely is.
Follow is
No,
our
I
biggest
don't
fan.
think
You know
so.
when Follow was our first subscriber, and I think
You're both wrong.
we're gonna do a special for our was it our 30
6 months ago.
our 40th.
Okay,
subscriber.
guess what? It's June.
Yeah,
Oh, it's December.
Yeah,
so I was
sure.
correct.
It is
Sure.
actually the first.
Sure.
So it's the
Fair,
first.
fair.
It's the first episode of 2026, and I think that's quite a poignant message.
Because
Yeah, we're
it's
starting
been a
it.
chaotic year.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of events going on, politics, geopolitics, whatever you name it.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, let's
I think
talk
to be
about
fair, but rather than start with politics, I think maybe we should start with the stuff about like desire and the endings. I think that's maybe more.
Yeah, so
something I
actually,
wanna
this
talk
is
about
something I want
first.
to talk about. So basically, I recently I finished playing this game called
Mm.
A Way Out, which is basically like
Oh, I've heard of that.
yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like a those kind of like
Story game.
choices. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
what's the name of that type of game?
I call it, a
There's
lot of them are made
choice-based
by
games.
Telltale.
Yeah, Telltale makes a lot.
But
Telltale.
I don't know if that one specifically
I think it
is
is made by Telltale.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like a
It's quite short, isn't it?
Like
yeah,
there's obviously the big ones I used to really like. Detroit Become Human.
yeah.
I still need
even
to finish that.
Undertale is a choice.
Yeah,
game.
Yeah.
Undertale fundamentals.
Undertale is.
Really...
I feel like Undertale kicked off that whole genre of game.
No.
Maybe I think
Because
yeah,
Undertale
maybe.
came before.
No,
Yeah, that was like in the
no.
90s,
Well,
right?
I guess story games have
90s,
always
no,
existed
like
in
early 2010s.
No, not 90s. No, it was early 2010s,
Yeah,
I thought
bro.
that's like old.
Have you heard of The Wolf Among Us? It's really underrated. It's one of the
Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us.
What is The Wolf Among Us?
It's
I've
about this.
definitely heard of it. It's also like The Walking Dead and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
The
those are
Wa- yeah,
also
yeah.
early,
All made by
early
Legends,
choice
yeah.
games.
The Wolf Among Us, great game. You should at least
Is
play
that a
it or
Telltale
watch it.
game?
Yeah, I don't know if it might.
Wait,
be a
and what's the
Telltale.
one with the Wendigos and the two girls that die and turn into like the monster and you have to
I don't
Until
know.
Dawn. Until
Are
Dawn.
you sure that's a story game?
Yeah,
I thought that
it
was
is a
just
story
Oh,
game.
is it?
Because you have to make choices and then you basically get to decide who lives and dies.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna add that.
I think
to
it's
the
not
list.
sophisticated because at the end of the day it's the same ending but it's more like who lives and who dies. There's
Yeah.
a clear gradient of like doing good and doing bad. Whereas like, for example, even Detroit Become Human is more like
I still need to finish it. No spoilers.
yeah. I think that's a very interesting one. I
It's
think
been
that's more
10 years,
advanced than
bro.
the previous
Yeah,
one.
it's been 10 years, but come on. My mum never let me play age-restricted games, so...
I think that one's more interesting because there is actually a wider range of things you can do and endings you can get.
It's like the magnum opus of
Firecracker
But
isn't the
I
truth.
don't even. I think really until
Yeah.
I mean
Same
Undertale
actress, yeah.
is maybe the magnum opus because it's like you play it again and every time you replay it, like
you can get
it
a
distorts your sense of time and narrative really well.
What does a magnum opus mean? What's that?
like the best creation.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I wanted to say was basically that, like, obviously, I think is there something about like how much free will do we have in our lives and how can we improve that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I think this goes back to what we were saying yesterday, like the possible endings of life, you know. The fact that it's like your life is, in a way, kind of like a story mode, but it's also, what was it that we said? Like conscious autopilot.
Yeah, conscious also. That was what I said.
Because a lot of what we do, right, is not really our choice. In fact, most of what we do is not our choice, but it's like every here and there, quite frequently, I'd say, but here and there, at least compared to how frequently the unconscious part is, we have to make choices and do things.
Yeah, it's
And
the
then those
pivotal moments where
yeah.
you can steer the car. Like we talked
Exactly.
about, like we compared it to driving
Turning
like
the
a self-driving
indicators,
Tesla.
yeah.
You're in the driver's seat, but you're gonna be going straight, and then certain junctions, you'll be able to turn left or right.
But maybe that's why goal setting, like on a bigger scale, I think that's why big picture thinking is so important, because even though maybe you can't control every indicator blink, but you can tell it to, like, you can program a destination.
True, but then I think it's also important to look at the micro as well, not just because the micro is what leads to the macro. Like
Also, it's about
the
like
little adjustments along the way.
it's about enjoying the micro as well. I feel like a lot of people get stuck on like
Yeah. People
destination,
don't
forget
enjoy the
about
micro
journey,
as much.
and that's like the whole point of life, man.
Yeah, I don't know though. I feel like when you have the macro sort
You're a macro kind of guy, and I think I'm a micro kind
No,
of
I think Aran is low key because the reason why he's so good at the macro is because he does the micro every day. Like he sets his goals, he does the little things every day. Because the micro for him isn't even like tedious menial tasks. Like that's just what drives him each day. Like he does his like little tinkering with his various projects every single day. That's the type of micro. For you just have to.
I think it is also a chicken and egg thing. Like which one really, they sort of feed each other as well.
They do,
right?
yeah. They feed. They exist together. It's a paradox. But no, I think that's something you developed like when you were going through your whole like, I don't know, like mental rebirth when you were younger.
Well, I think when I was younger, I had to spend a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to do, and I learned to goal set a lot as well, and to focus on how, like, if there's an idea that I want. I think one of the most important YouTube videos I ever watched was, it's like the pillars of strategic thinking.
By who
It's like a YouTuber, like some spirituality YouTuber called actualize.org. I think it's not even one of his spiritual videos, it's just a very practical one. But it's so important because basically going over those 7 pillars, it's like various things like adaptability, disciplined execution, analytical. I've forgotten exactly what the pillars are, but the point is that those pillars are what enable you to focus on any goal or target that you want in your life, right? And then that's how you move towards stuff. But the issue is like, it's hard to learn that. I think I watched that video like 7 times over, and that's not. I think that's the video that I've probably obviously excluding like music or whatever. That's the video I probably will rewatch the most times ever. I genuinely have watched that 7 times and made notes about it because I think it's genuinely a very fundamental video because it's generalizable to anything. Like if you want to win in one regard or in any other aspect of your life, it could be literally any goal. There's a fundamental set of ways you need to think about stuff.
What are your key takeaways from the video if you want to give the spark notes to the people?
So there's these 7 pillars, and it basically boils. I've forgotten exactly what the pillars are, but what it boils down to is that you need to think carefully every time there's some area of your life or something you want to achieve. It's literally like, I remember having this conversation with someone once. I think it was Rio or something, and I said that there's we came to this conclusion of like there's 1,000,000 steps or something, right?
Yeah.
And like 1,000,000 steps to go from just one place to another place, and finding out what those 1,000,000 steps are is genuinely difficult, and it takes a lot of struggle, and every day you're gonna do stuff, and then it's gonna fail, and you're just, it feels like it's never ending failure until you get to success. But it's also informed, right? It's not just blind. It's also informed by what you did, what you achieved. I think measuring data in as many ways as possible is really useful. It's like how, with AI models, right? It's like if you feed like an LLM the right data, it can analyze patterns for you, and you have to do that to yourself as well. You have to literally analyze everything, and then you can slowly figure out where am I heading, why am I doing what I'm doing, etc., etc.
Okay.
And also, I think this is actually not really that related to the strategic thinking video, but I think something that's also underrated is people don't realize how there's so many links between different areas of your life. So instead of just blindly focusing, let's say, on one area, or saying, I want to do this one thing, I want to do that thing, what you need to really also do is realize, oh, this area of my life is connected to this other area. Even, for example, when I read books, that like I like doing this thing now where I just read 3 books, like let's say, like I'll read one book for 5 minutes, then I'll read another book for 5 minutes, and then I'll read another book, because there's weird connections that your mind can make between things which you think are completely unrelated at the start.
Yeah.
And what is that? Like, how does that help? Like, what does that help with?
Oh, because that's just all that innovation is. Innovation is just connecting the dots.
Making connection. Yeah.
Innovation isn't even making dots. Sometimes it does involve making dots. Sometimes it involves finding something that was never there. But most of the time, that process of creativity is literally just connecting things.
Yeah.
Rather than discovering.
Or rather than like simply connecting, it's like rearranging what's already there.
You think there's no such thing as like true creativity?
No. Like,
no, but
I'm saying
you can make dots, but most of the time it's more about connecting them.
Right, that's fine.
Because I think a lot of the time the ingredients are all there. I mean, you could even analogize this to like any of the think about the materials discovery platforms that I built. Like, it's like we know the elements of the periodic table, but
set in stone.
It's like, how do you combine the elements? That's the question that is not answered, and there's a huge possible range of ways to combine stuff, and you have to think about how to do that.
Yeah, and that just applies to life in general. Okay, that's good. I'll give that video a watch.
Yeah, can you? What's it called again?
It's called
Seven Pillars to
I think it's actually
Strategic
it's called How to Be a Strategic Motherfucker.
No,
So yeah, it's got a pretty like
we'll bleep that
out there name.
Yeah, we'll bleep that out.
We'll bleep that out. I mean, I don't think this is on like YouTube Kids or something.
Yeah, no, it's
No, I was gonna say no sponsors. No, that's true.
No sponsors. I
We
don't
do
think
have a sponsor.
do we have. I don't think we have.
Yeah, we do. We have our sponsors, isn't it? What is it?
Achilles.
Fable.
Yes.
Fable.
You mean Fable 5?
Fable 5.
The
is a
new
sponsor.
Claude model.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, like, man, Fable 5 is incredible.
War a model.
It's the things that it can do compared to the old Claude models is
Yeah.
like Opus was really good. but then,
Give us an example of like a thing it can do.
okay, so normally if you like I'm having a long conversation with Opus about some program, and we're all trying to rack our brains and think, okay, what are the next steps? What do I need to fix? And obviously when Opus goes back over the history, it makes mistakes in translation, it makes mistakes with how it sort of finds things out. And then I have to manually go and like correct all of that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Fable, it's like it's really smart. It just goes through everything, and it's like we need to do X, Y, Z. It's like instead of doing this, it just sets you on like a cleaner, straightforward path to what you need, and it can hold like a lot of those complex ideas together at the same time. So it's really good, but obviously with the safety flags, there are a lot of areas.
What do you mean safety flags? Like, what does that mean?
Well, so for example, Mythos was. Fable is just Mythos. Mythos is something that Claude only released to like big like banks and some like security cleared companies, and they did that because basically they said it was so powerful that you could use it to find cybersecurity vulnerabilities, you could use it to make bioweapons. So in a way, exciting times, because it means that AI models are so powerful now that they really think, and I believe in them, to be honest, based on my usage of Claude, that they probably could help you make something really bad, but it could also help you make something really good. And so the question is, how do you police people, right, from just making something bad and not doing something beneficial? It's hard to. How does the AI model know So that's why
Yeah.
it's like it'll just block off anything in certain areas rather than think about whether it's good or bad.
Which is fair, but then it goes into like user freedom and
Yeah, it does go
your
into like
opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean,
but
then user freedom. At the end of the day, you can't facilitate like terrorism.
Yeah,
for
of
example.
course. But I'm not disagreeing.
So you
Yeah.
should
It's
call
just
it,
a convers-
instead of calling it artificial intelligence, you should call it RI, restricted intelligence. It's true, no?
Yeah, good one, man.
No, that's true. I mean, it is
Like that.
restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That was good.
Restricted intelligence.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah, bro.
You're him, bro. Dude.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's. I need to get my hands on Fable.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think there's just certain domains that you can't talk to. But yeah, I mean, for example, try
Yeah,
and see what it would do
anything
for your
chemicals.
stuff. Like,
For my
just
what?
one, like for like a dissertation, for example.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one use of Fable. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to also see
Yeah.
how you would find it, because I think it's like we can
It's just
open
so
a chat
streamlined because
later.
like when I look through the workflow on like Perplexity, like it'll just make the most stupid mistakes and then it'll be corrected. Like,
But then
it
also
wastes so much
Perplexity
time.
chooses models to use. Right?
No. I'll set it to use like Claude, and then it just even when it's using the best model
But
possible.
even it uses like Sonnet, right?
Yeah, it does use
But then
Sonnet.
Sonnet,
unless
so
you
it's
pay-
like it's like Sonnet, and then it's like Opus, and then there's also three types of there's 4.6,
Yeah, yeah.
4.7, 4.8, and then Fable.
there's
is
a
like
huge
whatever.
gulf between 4.8 and Fable.
I'd say it's a bit bigger than the gap between Sonnet and Opus,
Wow,
from what I've seen.
wow.
It can really hold like.
No, but I'm
lots of
talking about
information.
computer. I told you how I got the free credits on computer.
Oh yeah.
Computers like Perplexity is on like separate tool that's really good.
Oh, for like doing research and stuff.
Yeah, for doing research and like computer creating things.
Do you want to talk, Aaron? Do you want to tell? Are you at
Agenda.
freedom to talk about your
The projects.
projects?
Festus.
Yeah, no,
I think so. I think some of those are obviously the exact
Proprietary.
contents are proprietary, but the gist of the programs I can definitely talk about. Which
Let's
is
hear it.
so originally I started with something I made, which was a tool that basically took. So you know, like AlphaFold basically takes like a primary sequence and decides how to fold a protein. And I basically took the outputs of AlphaFold and then used like physics-based relaxation, like something called molecular dynamics, where it basically just uses actual physics to relax the molecule, not like an AI prediction. And so I basically used that combined with that, and I called it Frankenstein. Well, Gemini helped me name it Frankenstein, and then that was cool. And then I sort of moved on to. I decided to use AI to actually. I made my own AI-based program to fold proteins. Then I moved on to making an AI-based program that creates heat-resistant proteins. And then after that, I moved on to like chemistry and physics. So material science, catalysts, magnetism, and like thermoelectrics, etc. So we'll see where we go with that. But I think it just, for me, it just underscores some of the really like amazing things that AI can do. I think it's so obviously when you see Sam Altman go on TV and say like, oh, we're gonna cure cancer with more data centers, it seems a bit like, okay, like how are you gonna do that exactly? But I think AI is such a powerful tool, and then again it goes back to it's the same thing I said about creativity. It's about connecting the dots. Like if I hadn't connected those dots and had those ideas, like I wouldn't have been able to make the programs that I made. And then imagine like if you had so many people around the world using AI, researching with AI, like think about like what they could make and what they could do. That is going to be incredible to watch over the next
The scope
few
is
decades.
insane. A few decades might even be like I think the next 10 years is gonna be revolutionary.
And that's not even like accounting for the fact that AI models, like for example Fable 5, are becoming like scarily powerful. So it's like to the point where they have to be restricted for safety reasons. I mean, you know, you could really do some great things with those models. So I think we just have to sit back and watch.
Yeah, especially like the right people will have the right access to like Mythos in terms of the companies that have access like directly from Claude.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah,
I think also like how you get that out to the public, and then the whole like safety, privacy. I think there are obviously issues. Also like the whole like energy consumption thing. But that's also something that needs to be. But maybe who knows? Maybe AI, like for example, my program could discover something that could solve the energy issue. You know, So AI could solve its own problems in a way as well.
Data centers in space. Isn't that what Elon Musk
No,
wants?
no.
That's one idea. I don't know how
That
useful
is not
or
feasible.
successful it would be, but it's something that he's floated before.
Literally.
And I think he floats those ideas on purpose publicly to sort of reel people in and see like, okay, who's really on this, who really thinks this would be feasible.
Yeah.
So it is a tactic that he uses, but and then there are other people who like to keep it. Usually you'd keep your ideas to yourself, but
And I think the reason why Elon like chooses to flaunt certain ideas is because he knows like a lot of them are not like the data center in space one, like that isn't really feasible.
Oh, so you think he like tossed it out and then said, "Let me just tell the public"?
Yeah.
Yeah, possible. Because it helps him also earn like public. Like people obviously value his company more when they think, "Oh, he's going to do something crazy or incredible to watch."
SpaceX is going public soon, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be, what's it called?
SpaceX's
Yeah.
IPO. Yeah, I think that's an interesting point to talk about because I know people who are thinking about buying into SpaceX.
What's your recommendation as a?
I'm not sure because I think based on the price that it's going to be listed at, it's not really good value for money. But then there's also obviously the whole chance that it just pops off and then becomes bigger. Also, there could be changes with the actual business. So SpaceX is 3 businesses basically. I don't know if you know this, but it's like Starlink and then and then XAI
division and the AI division. Yeah. That's the bit I'm most skeptical about because like a lot of the valuations are hinging off the fact that Grok is gonna be like they've made like deals with Google and like Grok is just not that good, is it?
Yeah, Grok is probably the worst.
The worst, yeah. But a lot of the valuation is based off that. So is it really the best option to put your money in?
Yeah, I don't know.
SpaceX, if it was just on its own, like excluding the XAI nonsense, then
Is there like poly-market stuff already? Must be, right?
What do you mean? Or betting on the price? Yeah, that always comes out.
That poly market stuff has seeped into everything, bro.
Yeah. Do you use it? Yeah, have you used it before for that?
No, I've never used it, but like because I'm a pretty avid sports guy. Like a lot of the creators I follow on like TikTok and Instagram Reels, there's so many undisclosed ads for poly like Kalshi and poly market is just disgusting.
I don't really like it. I think it's just sports betting, but people.
Of course
it's like people like finance and trading, right? Everyone thinks like, oh, I'm gonna be cool and like trade and do stocks and make money. But the truth is, you have to obviously study and learn a lot to actually trade, and poly market is most certainly not that.
Of course.
It is just sports betting.
Sports, and they're preying on people in worse economic situations. It's just really like a really sad affair.
Did you watch that video, the More Perfect You video?
Yes. No, but I've also seen like a lot of stuff beyond that video. Like, but I've seen that video, the video you're talking about. Yeah, it is just it's mad. I had a look on the poly market website. I was like, yeah, no, because like they've just got random events on there as well. That's what's really like getting me when they have like
an asteroid land.
That is like just it's the political events that are a bit scary because like the people who are going to be trading on these options, like it's just insider trading, no?
That's also another thing, right?
Or it's even what's it called? People are trying to make events happen, like
that's not
manipulation. Yeah.
People in political roles.
Yeah, Trump administration has been insider trading, haven't they?
Well, so this is the interesting thing, right? I think it happens a lot anyway, but now it's getting a bit more coverage, and also it's becoming a bit worse as well. Like, it's not like it didn't happen before, but it is. I'm not too sure what the situation was before, but I know recently, in the past 6 months, the situation has been such that before major announcements made by Trump, there's spikes in trading, which shouldn't theoretically be possible unless people had information about what he was going to declare before he declared it.
And these are people that are close to him, like
and there people, and there's a lot of. I think you can talk about the corruption of the Trump administration.
Yeah, that
for
is
a long
this
time.
administration is gonna go down in history, bro.
I think
one of the administrations.
I think it's really a shame. I think, to be honest, it's our fault for wanting him. Maybe my fault for thinking that he would produce change for the better, but it seems to have. I think there's an issue where it's like there can't be a system or political party that just tackles. There's certain issues that people want to see tackled, like immigration, but the tackling of immigration doesn't mean that there's all this other baggage attached, like the all of the wrongdoings of ICE, all of the harassment of people at the border, like legitimate like tourists and stuff. You know, people, this whole like phone checking thing.
And you can't even go to the.
I can't even go. I mean, and also, you know, anyone who goes gets their phone swiped.
The Somali referee got stopped.
I saw that.
And deported. I mean, it's just a bit ridiculous, isn't it? You know, and I've heard stories, I think I've told you, of people like memes about JD Vance on their phone being deported. Like anything that is remotely critical of Trump or his administration equals deportation. And obviously all this, you know, any students who protest for Palestine or whatever being deported. I mean, you know, this is, we have well, not we, but as in the US, there is a First Amendment and this concept of freedom of speech for a reason. I think that this is the least free I've seen in recent times, at least. You know, I've obviously not lived on this.
And it's ironic as well.
It's ironic that the right wing base, they think the same thing as you, but for other reasons. They think, because we can't be openly racist and do this, that, and the third. They think that their free speech is being infringed, but when in reality, it's people who are being critical of the administration.
I think it's a both sides issue though, because.
But I think it's completely different scales, because you're not going to see people getting denied entry into the US for being racist, or for saying like X, Y, and Z, like doing things. But you'll see people
see that sometimes. As in, I'm not saying
it's not as widespread as it is now with the Trump. Like, for example, you know, I don't know if you've heard of Hassan Piker.
Oh,
this is regarding the UK.
He's a Canadian streamer, right?
Yeah, he's like a left-wing Twitch streamer. Like,
and he's getting in trouble and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, he got his visa denied to come to the UK to speak at like some Oxford University. Because like he's like pro-Palestinian.
Didn't he? Wasn't it because he incited like some protests and stuff in the US or something, like there was some like he incited violence through like his like live stream, and then like people came and like protested and stuff. He got in trouble. I don't know. That's what I've read.
I read that it was just purely because of the fact like the things he said, like
obviously he's like heavily pro, and also the UK is not. Pro.
I just don't believe in blocking people for that reason in general.
Where's he from?
No, he's not Canadian. He's American.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's. I think he's Turkish. Yeah, he's Turkish. But what's the
I don't even particularly like Hassan Piker. But
no, I think I don't know. I've seen some clips and he seems angry for the hell of being angry. I don't know how. No, I know what I've seen, Fola. There was this whole issue with like he was abusing his dog or something.
Oh, come on,
bro! I saw that.
That was like the most like non-issue.
Oh, well, I don't know. I just saw a clip where apparently he like has an electric shock.
I assume it's to do with his support for Hamas. That he purports.
But I think, to be honest, he had a live stream in Tiananmen Square. Yeah, he's just trying to. He's just a bit edgy.
China a lot.
He's a bit edgy, I think. Maybe.
No. Like he is like like he's low key a cringe like leftist edgelord rich guy. But like that's why I'm not.
No,
I just don't think he should have been blocked from entering the country.
I think it's ironic because of course all these like Trump administration were screaming and crying about free speech and completely anti-free speech. Agreed. Like it's crazy that. I think it just shows that like there really isn't like a left or right. It's just like us versus them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter who you, because in the UK it's like we have the same thing but the opposite sort of end of the political spectrum. It's like kind of the same problem.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's the same end of the political spectrum. That's
no. But
I think this is the issue. You're just criticizing one side, but then you're saying
no. I'm not. I'm just talking about like objectively, like
no. But for example, like people like it's like there's.
But not in the UK. I mean, in the UK we have a sort of centrist government.
Yeah, it's like centre right.
Really?
Yeah, like the way Labour are right.
Yeah,
now,
but maybe
you could say that.
You could say that objectively, but they parade around as being like.
Yeah, well, I think everyone like in 2026 knows that like Labour is not the Labour of old.
Yeah, that's.
I think they've had to adapt because they know that Reform is basically going to win the next election.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy to be honest.
And they are completely set. And I think it's very worrying. For example, like what we just saw in Belfast, it is very concerning that there's a generation of young men who
feel so disenfranchised.
All
goes back to Margaret Thatcher,
disenfranchised
bro.
Margaret Thatcher,
are willing to turn to violent means to. I think what the issue is.
I had no idea what that was.
Hmm?
They asked me about what austerity was.
okay.
Idiot.
No
I
idea
didn't
what
know.
austerity was.
I'm an idiot. That's poor for me.
I think.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, you know about the idea of austerity. You just might not know the name.
The word, yeah.
The word.
It's
Yeah.
Very, very poor for me.
No, bro.
It's okay, bro. Pretty sure.
Reggie Carter.
What did you just say?
No.
Yeah. take that back.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I think it's just interesting to see what's going on with politics and how the entire sort of setting has shifted.
Is it like? I feel like if I was to say that the West was crumbling, I would say the West is crumbling because nobody cares about Western values anymore. Like right wing, left wing, whatever. People care about their side. Isn't you don't find people who truly care about freedom and like the values that make the West
You
the
talking
West.
about like in terms of like
Isn't
mainstream politics, like
yeah,
politicians don't.
anyone,
Oh, you're
like
talking-
even
wait.
a young like politics, like people in general, the public, anybody. People just care about their side,
Yeah.
like what their
Yeah,
side
yeah.
wants, whether what like the other side is bad, they want X, Y, Z. Nobody seems to care anymore about like the values that make our society, and
Yeah.
I think that's really concerning to
Yeah,
me,
as in,
more
like,
than anything.
I think
that's a bit
I
too
said
sweeping
this.
of a statement.
No, I think it's true. I said this in the previous podcast. Like it's like football teams. People treat politics.
Yeah,
as football.
that is a really annoying. Like, I think it's like it's a survival tactic though. Like people in left wing spaces, like they've just sort of retreated into this like their echo chamber in their bubble, and now they're like, oh, I have to ride for my team, like no matter what.
Yeah.
Which
But you don't ride for your team.
No, I
You
know,
ride
I
for the
don't-
society. No,
Yes,
I'm not
yeah.
arguing against
Yeah,
you. I'm just
like,
saying
your
to those
values
people, you ride for.
should transcend political. Like,
but it's a
affiliation,
survival
right?
tactic.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think it's a shame we don't have enough. I don't know what's happened, but I think it's also education and just the way people are raised. People are raised to sort of.
No, it's a social
Hold
media thing.
weird.
I think it's
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
the
Social
Western,
media is gonna be the
democratic
downfall
model as a whole. As in, like it's like there's like, as in you have to vote every 4 years in an election. That doesn't really like the fundamental way society is run in the country doesn't change, like every 4 years.
I think 4 years is obviously too short of a time to expect. I think there's a lot of obviously naturally with government is huge. Where there's millions of people in the country, it's hard to expect. It takes time for change to permeate out of government.
Like the majority of
into
people in government
public.
are voted for by people.
But that's natural. With
Yeah, that's
every-
natural,
There's
maybe,
a large
but it's-
unelected bureaucracy in every government.
Yeah, but that's like the majority of the bureaucracy is unelected.
But then this is the argument that Trump used to fire loads of federal workers and turn them into presidential appointees, which you could argue is actually more undermining of democratic values. So that's a tricky thing to say because it comes with two sides of the coin.
Maybe, but it's giving like people this false sense of like power.
Yeah.
Because like I haven't voted. None of us have voted in a long time.
None of us.
It's
I
like,
didn't
it
vote
doesn't
in
make
this.
any
I didn't
sense.
vote in these council elections. I did vote in the 2024 election.
Yeah.
Did you, Romeo?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I.
I just because I just feel like it doesn't make a difference really. To be honest, like I mean, obviously, fine, every vote counts. I appreciate that, but like no matter who was going to become prime minister, they're not going to be pro-Palestine. It's just
The
how it
things
is.
that really affect our lives are not going to change.
And yeah, okay, fine, maybe pro-Palestine is not the best example, but it's just in general. Like,
But the problem is,
issues that matter.
I think this kind of attitude has. I'm not saying attitude is wrong per se, but I think this attitude is the reason why populism and like the reform and the Greens are on the rise. It's because people think like not enough change is being made. So people want a more extreme, for lack of a better word, government. So because, for example, if you elected the Greens, then the Greens would be pro-Palestinian, right? Or, for example, if you elected Reform, then they would basically send immigration levels to near zero, right? So it's like you need something more, and I think I think this also.
Yeah, but
it's a
this
shame.
is what like the Labour Party and the Conservatives they're missing out on, because rather than them like using like what we've seen, like the shift towards the extremes to like try and be the more reasonable option, they're just shifting to the right to try and combat reform. Like
it's like if you mix every color together, you just end up
brown.
with like the poop color, right?
Yeah.
I think,
Which we
but if you try
I
you mix
said
every
brown,
color, it just turns out like this sort of like garbage trash color.
I mean, brown is a nice color in my opinion.
No, it's like
The right
kind
shade.
of gross, like green, and it's like
Yeah.
you didn't really achieve. I think I always purport radical centrism. I think
I remember when you first said that in
I think it's
first
such a
year.
it's an important thing, and this is
Right.
another
Wait,
thing.
Wait, did you say that, or did I call you a radical centrist?
No, I told you
Okay.
that originally about
Yeah,
radical
I heard
centrism.
Self-proclaimed
Self-proclaimed
Because
radical centrist.
radical centrism means that sometimes your policies will be very right wing, sometimes your policies will be very left wing. The issue is because we live in these like political bubbles of left wing and right wing, people are sort of or like, and the people who are in the
very
middle
all or
are just
nothing.
locked down to like what's the most like okay thing to do. But I think, for example, I don't see why. I think that the government, obviously this is my personal opinion,
Yeah.
sort of running into things. But for example, like I don't see why a government couldn't be pro-Palestinian and strongly anti-immigration. I don't. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like you either have to choose Palestine or fixing immigration or just something in the middle that will just fix none of them. Right? I don't understand why that has to be the set of choices that we have as a society.
But it comes, but it comes down to like each team has like their set values that people just don't.
And that's what I'm saying. I think people are not even committed enough. I think people are not committed enough to the values that make us a society.
I think the vast majority of people don't even like really care about politics or like the specific team that they like. People just like my mum, for example, she just votes for Labour because that's what she's done ever since she moved to the UK, and like
that's also true. That a lot of people just don't.
People are
think
just
about
narratives
politics
driven.
either.
Yeah, like there's not actually that many people who like are really like on each team and like devoted to like the Tories or Labour or Reform, etc. I think Reform, that's where Reform are capitalising. They're capitalising on the people who have never actually cared that much about politics.
Yeah,
that's why they're surging so much.
Maybe.
I think it's easy to definitely just build a narrative and be elected. I think most people are not violent rioters. Most people are not protesters. Most people are just a silent majority. But the issue with a silent majority is that you need people who do think deeply to be making those decisions. But at the same time, it's like, how do you guide? You can't expect every member of the public to have like this kind of in-depth discussion that we have, right? So the question is, like how can you bring in some sort of government or a regime or something? How can you bring in a government that does what I would say the right things are while persuading everyone to vote? Because then you have these polarized bases as well of people. So I think it's because if I came forward as this like sort of idea of like radical centrism and I proposed some like really right wing and really left wing policies that I thought were important to enact, I honestly I think it would be hard to receive votes because someone, for example, who wants to vote for reform would say, well, okay, I like your immigration stance, but for example, I don't like you being pro-Palestinian. Or, and then someone who would vote for the Greens would say, well, I like the fact that you're pro-Palestinian, but I don't like your economic policy or your immigration stance. And so it's a question of how do you engage with the public. I think there's things that society needs, but the question is how do you make people realize what they need is not necessarily the same as what they think they want.
I think the most important point is education in the school system. If there was better education on like political systems and like economics in general, like from secondary school onwards, then we'd have like a greater population who's just more in the know.
You know what? Honestly, I wish politics and economics was actually more ingrained in like primary and secondary
instead
school
of PSH.
teaching.
Well, no, we still like PSH is still useful, but they should integrate
There should
that
be
into
periods with that, like as opposed to it being like a sixth form like optional.
an optional.
Yeah.
It really politics should not be optional.
Yeah.
Or at least like a baseline level should not be optional. But then it sort of gets to the point where because like, a lot of people like talk down on doing like politics A level because like it's a bit outdated and
but that's on purpose. No?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like they don't want people to know what deeply about politics so that they can easily sort of twist people's hand to vote for them and vote for their policies. That's on purpose, no?
But I don't know if that's necessarily. I think it's more like under-resourcement as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's the under-resourcement to like as in.
I think actually what I would maybe correct that is maybe more crucially, it's like what politics do you teach?
Yeah, that is
Because
then
then the polarizing stuff.
I think you
happens.
kind of have to
People come
teach
back,
everything.
They say no, we want to teach them this. No, we want to
I
teach
think
them
you
that.
should just teach the option is the solution is to teach everything like within like at least the
Yeah.
basics of everything reasonable. But then it's like who decides what's reasonable
I think
as well.
figuring out
Is that
how
not
to teach
history? Is that
hard.
not what history is, like teaching?
Yeah, no,
history?
but history focuses less on politics
Even
and more on
history
events.
can be really hard to
Yeah,
paint
but I
in the
just-
most objective sense. And I think politics would just be even harder to do.
Yes, no, you are right, but they should introduce it more. They should introduce it. Like, is there a politics GCSE?
No,
I don't think so.
but doesn't.
But I'd rather than making it like a full on GCSE.
To be honest, why not mandatory politics and economics GCSE?
Yeah, okay.
I think that would be a first for any developed country or any country, full stop. But
I do think it's a very good idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? We might.
Well
could
done,
sign
guys.
up for that.
We might have cooked
Bro.
something good up. Yeah.
It's
'Cause-
just about thing is like remember when you were in school, like I only really cared about like the obviously we all still did well in like secondary school, but I didn't really apply myself in subjects. I didn't like internalize things in the subjects I didn't really care about. So what if someone just like the GCSE might
But you
go to
don't
waste.
realize that you do to an extent. For example, like I know quite a lot about geography from doing geography in school.
Yeah, but I did history in school, but I hated it. Like I've really not retained.
I
a
didn't
lot
even
of-
take it for GCSE. I only did it till year 9, but
Yeah,
I
but
still
that's
know
to
a
do with
lot of
teacher,
facts
man.
about history.
Yeah, that
from
might be
GCSE history.
That was a big like makes a bigger difference. People realize it's like
Yeah, and
who your
also who
teacher is.
teaches.
No, your teacher. Yeah, it's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah,
Like just on an individual level, like your affinity with your teacher. And,
especially
their
like
teaching
with
style.
subjects maybe like history or geography. Like maybe like for example, we're obviously STEM people. I mean, we're not like particularly
No,
like.
I ended up really
invested
liking
in-
geography.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we're not particularly invested in it like outside of maybe science, and then it's like it depends on your teacher who can. That's like up to them.
To pull you into
Yeah,
those
yeah,
subjects
exactly,
you
that's what
don't
I'm saying.
particularly care about.
Like I wasn't, like I don't really like. I shouldn't have necessarily cared that much about geography, but I enjoyed it a lot because my teacher was really good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out Mrs. Ahern.
Yeah.
Was that a geography teacher?
That was my geography teacher.
There.
Goated.
Yeah. I guess we should make politics mandatory. How do we teach it?
But
Teach
then
it?
it's tricky as well. There's a reason it hasn't been done before.
Yeah, it can be done. I mean, I think it's like like
Yeah,
every
because
lesson.
every new government will
I
try
don't
to
think-
change the
yeah.
curriculum.
Or okay, I'll tell you what. Instead of changing the curriculum, it should be like mandatory. Like every lesson is like a debate or something. Like you have to like every week you prepare like a debate about a subject.
Debating.
Like forget about politics. What about debating as like a subject?
As
I remember it was like a
skill.
club, and like obviously, but like maybe
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
10% or 20% of the people in the year might do it. I don't know.
10.
I remember
Well,
I
yeah.
loved debating in school.
I don't know if even less than that. I don't know, but as in or more. I don't know, but as in like it's not something like mandatory like debating lessons where it's like this week we're going to debate about and even like difficult issues like
Yeah, they
abortion or
could
something.
no.
And it's like and then it forced people to like actually like critically think about issues and like have like points that like make sense and then like because that could help them then when they see the issue in the real world and they're voting. You know what I mean? Like
They have to think more deeply.
yeah, exactly. They have
think
to actually,
critically.
yeah, exactly. They're
That's
used to
something we're
thinking
losing
deep.
with the social media
Yeah, true,
era.
100%. Because then people see facts. They see like now it's all about like the media portraying like this big story. They cling onto this big story and then they twist it in a way that like has a political agenda
Hot
to it.
takes and headlines.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's
even like recent stuff in like Belfast or whatever. Like it's all politicized. You know what I'm saying? Or like there was like what that guy you just showed me earlier. What was his name? He got
Hassan
stabbed by.
Pai.
Oh, Henry Novak.
Oh,
Yeah,
Henry
he got
Novak,
stabbed
yeah.
by. Which I feel like ultimately is that is maybe just like a was he like robbed and then some guy stabbed him, but then it's like twisted into like a political like.
Yeah.
As in,
But
obviously, the
that-
guy made accusations of racism, and that's what's annoying people. Was it, and also the
Because
police mistreatment
yeah.
of the guy as he was dying.
Yeah, but
Which
you
then
can.
raises questions about this whole sort of like.
But is there like actually a political like was there like did the police have a political agenda or
I don't think
No,
the
of
police,
course not.
No,
They-
it's just
they-
police
yeah.
Because imagine you
incompetence.
pull up to the scene. The guy is,
Yeah.
you have to think about their situation. The guy's really drunk. The guy talking to them seemed completely calm, and he said, "Yeah, he racially attacked me, etc., etc." It's not really crazy to. I think most people would have done what the police did in that situation,
no.
even if it was wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't wrong, but most people would have done what they done.
No, okay. Well, most people aren't police officers. I think the police officers, like as a bare minimum, you have the level of training to be able to distinguish. Like, I'm not saying they should have been able to clock that.
Yeah, but
Vikram Digwa was lying about the racial attack or whatever.
I find
they should
the
have been
story
able
a
to
bit
distinguish the
strange,
fact
though.
that he was stabbed. Like,
Yeah,
at the
I,
very
no,
least.
I think I find the story like I do feel like the way it's been portrayed is incorrect because I don't think it's actually the guy. Obviously, he was like lying in a pool of blood. Like, he wasn't like that's obviously that's what it's portrayed as anyway.
But it was
No,
dark
the-
in the video. You could barely make out the pool of blood.
That's
When he
what I'm
became
saying.
unresponsive, then they started examining him and
Yeah,
realizing
so
that
what
he'd
I'm
been
what I'm
stabbed.
saying
already
is the
been
media
handcuffed to
has
that point.
twisted it in a way that is like it was obvious he was dying and they ignored him because
Yeah,
of
because
racism.
people, people obviously like to
the-
put spin on things
The
and
police officer
exaggerate
did
stories.
say, "I don't think you have, mate." Like, I think it's the fact, like the police officer's tone when he's speaking to someone who's clearly in distress. I don't know. Obviously, you want to be skeptical about what's being portrayed on the news, but I think this case isn't one of them where you can be like.
But even like
Play
like
the
the
devil's
like
advocate.
even like or like the stuff in America is like was that like a I don't know. I feel like the media just twists things in a political way that I just.
But in this case, like, what's the media's angle?
There's
'Cause,
angles like,
like, Henry
they
Novak
turn
is-
it into like we don't like immigrants because immigrants do this to people, basically. Like, that's what they're trying to say.
I think some people will inevitably play
Yeah,
on
people.
that.
I don't think the media is actually putting a spin on this, like, because all
It
the
depends
coverage
what
I've
media
seen.
you look at.
Yeah, okay. If
But you can
if
watch
you're not
the
looking
video
at
as
GB
well.
News, yeah,
You
Yeah,
can't
you're
just
looking
look
at
at the
GB.
video.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I haven't seen the video.
You
It's
should
just-
you
it's a
should
sad
watch the
situation.
video. I think
The video is clear.
the video makes it clear that there was some level of
Confusion about what.
like questionable behavior from the police, but it's not as extreme either as what you the sort of
Yeah.
what you might have been hearing either at the same time.
Being a police officer is a very like interesting job. Like,
I think it's one of the most important jobs. I think that people don't have enough respect for the people who maintain law and order, the armed forces as well. Like,
I don't
and
think the
by
Met Police
extension,
have done
emergency
themselves a
workers.
good job.
but I think
Of
Fola, it's
maintaining
interesting.
their
I agree
reputation.
with what you're saying, and
But
I
how
I-
can you
that-
say that though?
No,
Every
'cause
day
in terms
they
of like
have
all
to
the
go out
no,
and deal
I'm
with.
just saying in terms of like the public scandals like in recent years. That's why like there might be like decreasing respect for the police.
Really,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
they're how the
Like, for
if
example,
anything, police are at their least corrupt in a long time. I'm not saying that they're
it's not
they have
necessarily
no
about corruption. It's about like incompetence. Like,
Mm.
yeah, corruption's not the only issue when it comes to the police.
Yeah, but Fola, do you not
You
think?
mentioned the girl who's kidnapped, right?
Hmm?
You mentioned
The
the girl
girl?
who's kidnapped. What was it like Sarah Edwards?
Several, yeah.
Well,
No,
I
like
think-
that. It's things like that might lead to like
Isn't
an
that
ongoing
case
like
where the girl
sentiment.
was kidnapped by a police officer and killed?
Have you ever watched A Place Beyond the Pines, Aaron? I think you'd like it. It's about like police corruption.
What
A Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah,
Sounds
like-
familiar.
we
I've just not
watched it together.
Yeah,
Maybe
follow-
I'm forgetting
No,
some of
it
the
is
plot
kind.
points.
The general gist is about police corruption.
Oh yeah.
We should watch this later.
Yeah, but
This is a
good.
good
You
film.
like this?
No, we.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But anyway, but what I'm trying to say though, because I had your issue where it was like, oh, it's the police are corrupt and like.
I didn't say that.
No, no,
This is
no,
the
no.
other. This is the other Ryan Gosling movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's Driver, then there's this, right?
Yeah, I need to finish Drive.
And that's why this. Yeah, Drive is really good.
Yeah.
It's really well made.
But I think it's like, isn't it hard? Like when you're a police officer, you have all that like power as well.
Mm.
Like you are the law. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you dictate whether people.
No, you're an arm of the law.
Maybe,
you're not
but
the
like,
law.
but then okay, if like even like us, like we have a party and we're scared of the police coming. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like that like level of power that they hold is like a difficult thing to like be completely.
I agree,
objective,
and that's
isn't
what
it?
I was saying. I think being a police officer is really difficult, and I think people are too dismissive
Yeah,
of the
I
difficulty
acknowledge
of
that.
working
But
as a police
you
officer.
would imagine that their training has prepared them enough.
But how much? Yeah, I think that comes down to like, for example, in America with ICE, it's like a lack of training.
Yeah, but I think there it's not to the same degree, but like clearly there is like a problem in this country.
Is that? Do you think how long is the training in the UK to be a police officer?
I think it's quite good. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
don't
assume
know.
it's quite good. But also,
Look up some-
obviously, another thing to consider is austerity, which has caused policing to be under-resourced and understaffed across the UK, as well as many other areas as well, but especially with policing. I did a bunch of research on this actually, out of my own interest,
Yeah, tell us.
and
In preparation for
Yeah.
the national crime, so what is it?
the National
UK?
Police Service.
National Police
I think that's going to be very helpful, definitely, because there are large-scale crimes which
Yes.
currently don't really receive proper attention or investigation because there's sort of like, for example, like one of the national, so like terrorism, counterterrorism, is basically just the job of the Met.
Right.
But the Met is a London police force.
Mm-hmm.
They're being told also you have to, deal with counterterrorism across the country. Same with like other things, for example, like there's one of the Midlands agencies is just in charge of like the police helicopter service, whereas again that's a national thing.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be in charge of one local service, and so I think that's going to be something very, very useful, and it's been a long time coming. I think MI5 doesn't really cover it. I think GCHQ MI5 they're more for intelligence. They don't really cover. We don't have really a proper FBI equivalent.
Yeah.
We have it somewhat in the intelligence half, but we don't really have it in the law enforcement half. And so I think that's something that we really need soon.
I think I think the reason why like it's like this is because like the scale of the UK is just so much smaller than the US, and like the autonomy between like states and like versus counties. It's not. I feel like historically there may not have been a need, but not like with the way things are going, potentially. When is the National Police Service?
I think it's something that's going to be introduced at some point in the next 5 years.
The
bureaucracy is quite slow to move, so we don't know when exactly this will become a thing, and who knows, maybe Reform will win the next election and just axe the plan. I doubt it because it's not really a partisan issue, but it's entirely possible. You don't know what's going to happen next election.
They feel like slightly valuable use of resources.
And I think Reform will probably be as harmful for this country as Trump has been for the USA.
Oh, God.
Because their policies, if you actually examine their manifesto and their policies, most of it is trash. Most of it is just trash.
Yeah.
It's economic policy that doesn't make sense, it's convoluted, it's a bit worrying on the human rights front, it's kind of, it's all over the place. Obviously, there are legitimate concerns like immigration, but that doesn't really mean that most of the baggage that comes with it is correct or useful. And so I think that it's a shame because, there is a legitimate, set of issues that need to be tackled. But it's more like a patriotic, like, I love Farage because he's right-wing and patriotic rather than a sort of, is this actually good politics? And the answer to that is almost certainly no. And honestly, I'd say there is one party with an even worse set of policies than Reform, and that's the Greens, because their politics essentially appeals to like ethnic separatism. Have you heard about this? How like in one of the local like by-elections somewhere, they were basically just appealing to like Pakistani residents basically in like a sort of weird like separatist, like they're trying to get you like way.
What do you mean? Can you explain?
As in, I didn't read the full article, but from what I understand, it's like they're basically telling them you're different and they're out to get you, so vote for us. But that's really concerning because that's not how
the fueling divide.
That's very, very not good for this country. Because the point of living in the UK and being a British citizen is that there's a set of values and identity that you share, and so as soon as you don't share that, then it does beg the question of why are you here? And that's another thing. Again, it kind of goes back to what I said, which is that a lot of people don't seem to share the values that made and make our society our society.
Well, why have you come to that conclusion? I feel like it's easy to make these like big sweeping statements about society, but like it's not very conclusive unless you like carry out like some sort of like widespread survey.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying the fact that political parties are just appealing to ethnic lines now.
How widespread is that with the Greens? I think the Greens' major problem
they want open
economics.
borders.
Yeah,
open
borders.
Borders.
And like if the Greens got like a good economist,
they
like,
want to
in their
rejoin
party,
the EU as well, right?
Then
that's basically nothing compared to their other policies, right?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Rejoining the EU is like whatever, but saying that you want open borders is much more of a problem, and probably likely to be harmful for the UK.
But I think a lot of the things that the Greens have put in their manifesto they wouldn't even implement even if they got in power.
They wouldn't have the power.
But a manifesto, the whole point of a manifesto is to be
Yeah,
things
but like
that you would implement if you were in power.
You would, but
But then, like, I feel like a lot, like even
people
Trump,
just-
for example, didn't necessarily stand by his manifesto. Did he?
Well, he kind of did.
When
Because
Stop
his
All Wars.
manifesto pretty much revolved around immigration, which he has actually.
Yeah, but obviously
tackled,
he's
to
going to
be
do that. I
fair.
mean, everyone knew he was going to do it. As in, like, I'm talking about, like, the wars.
Well, the wars thing is not really. I'd say it was more of a promise than a manifesto. He said he'd also deregulate, and he has, and he's also cut taxes for the rich. So he kind of did what he would promise, but yeah, I don't know. I think in the wars thing, yeah, I think geopolitically,
He didn't do it.
he's not done very well at all. I think now, even JD Vance is now starting to. Do you see that article about JD Vance saying that sometimes Israel has made mistakes, or like we don't always align with Israel or something, and if JD Vance is saying that, then something has gone very awry.
Yeah, I think
he's just soft launching his departure from
He's
the
soft
United
launching
States of Israel.
Because I don't understand, they came on this platform of like, we will do anything for Israel, and then I think it's just like, as soon as public opinion has started to become like, okay, why are we just doing all of this?
For Israel,
Send another $1 billion to Israel.
Now it's like, let's maybe change our minds, which I think is I get that as a politician you have to change your mind based on public opinion, but at the same time,
But there wasn't much justification for why they were, sending all that money to Israel. At least, like, the justification didn't.
Well, they were making arms deals, and I think. So what I understand is that the US used to do full-on economic support for Israel, but they actually did stop that, and now it's just arms that they send to Israel, and so they in a financial sense they support Israel less. And actually, Benjamin Netanyahu has gone on interviews saying that he actually doesn't want any US support, and that he wants like a fair partnership with the US, which I guess is commendable.
But is that, or was that maybe him trying to say he wants more power? Because, but let's say if they just take handouts from the US, and how much power do they really have over that money? Whereas if they're in a partnership, and they can control exactly where that money goes. And
The money wouldn't be going anywhere anymore.
It becomes their money rather than just like a finite hand resource that's been given to them by the US. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, as in, like.
But it's not. They wouldn't be getting money anymore from the US.
No, but they'd be like in control of the money as well as in, like, obviously
of which money though?
Like, just like as in like the trade and like the relationship they have, like the various companies like in Silicon Valley and etc.
But how would they be in control of that?
With all the various investors.
Romeo, you're looking at it like from like the lens of like a foreign aid thing.
But then that's kind of a bit that's not related to the aid they receive. Like, whether they receive that aid or not, that doesn't really.
But what was it foreign aid? Like, what exactly was it classified as?
Because if it is foreign aid, then the donor country will have a say in how like things are implemented. At least that's what we're talking global.
Well, I mean, it's simply put, they send arms. Israel says they're for purposes of defense, and that's good enough explanation for the US to keep sending it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Should we have a look at the agenda?
Yeah,
No. There was actually a point I was going to make. There was something I was going to talk about, but I've just sort of forgotten.
That's okay, bro. Don't worry. We'll be alright. Have a look at the agenda again.
We will be alright. But
You'll forget. You'll remember it. The brain ages because of repetition.
Yeah, so I think that's
a happy note.
Talking about.
It's a positive note.
We've been doom spiraling about the state of the world.
That's very easy to do, to be fair.
Yeah, given the state of the world.
Yeah, that's why we haven't been. That honestly, we took a mental health break, to be honest, from the podcast.
It was
No, we didn't.
draining.
No, it wasn't draining. Just the world is draining, bro. Yeah, no, I saw this the other day, actually. Brain ages because of repetition. So, like, the concept of how when you get older, time passes faster because you're just stuck in, like, the same sort of pattern of, like, your days of, like, the 9 to 5, and you have the same routine.
But doesn't time feel slower when life is boring and
No,
repetitive?
it doesn't. That's how
No,
things just
100%.
zoom by, because there's not enough to distinguish between each day in your memory. So like it all just blends together.
Like if I asked you to like remember this year versus, I guess second year was quite eventful. Maybe I don't know. I guess that depends.
No,
on
I think
how
we're still
personal.
young, so it's not really the
Yeah.
same. Like we're at uni.
No, but I would say, for example, in school, like maybe I would say, like some year, like I would say, like now I feel like time has slowed a bit for me personally. Like I feel more aware of like time.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because you're at university, you've got more freedom.
Yeah, there's more
You're
freedom,
gonna
and like
do
every day
different-
is
more-
like unpredictable almost in some capacity, right? Whereas school is like okay, the same
So you think school passed faster?
for me personally.
Yeah, secondary school definitely.
especially like
As I've
before
gotten
sixth
older, time slowed down a bit,
form,
but
I
then
become
now,
more aware.
Yeah.
I mean, it might just be also like maturity and becoming self-aware and becoming more aware of like your actions, and you have like more control over your actions as well.
I don't know.
it might be like an
I don't
anecdotal
know.
thing, like related to like your personal experience with secondary school. Like if you didn't enjoy it as much, then it'll just go by a lot quicker, because you're just sort of blocking out each and every
But
day.
then also
True.
consider that secondary school is during a big period of your development. Like you're like small when you start, and then you're big when you finish it. You are a different person, and you change a lot. I think you still change a lot when you're in university.
Are you aware
for
of those
example.
changes? I'm saying like I feel like I don't know, maybe that's not the case for you, but like now, like at the age we are now, I feel like we're aware of like how we come across more potentially, and like our changes in our personality.
True, but then I think a lot of the things will be happening behind the scenes, like little rewirings of your brain. Like all the changes now are purely like mental and like mindset wise, whereas
Well, I think maybe that's not necessarily maybe that's a false distinction. Because obviously you're not going through puberty anymore.
yeah.
Like those mental changes are just the same wiring changes.
But what I'm saying is, even the mental changes you had when you were like in secondary school, like I feel like there were large jumps in development compared to now. Like everything's just gonna be small increments. And then it's just gonna stack up over
as you get older, you're more ingrained in certain ways of thinking and living.
What I was trying to say with that is like, how can you prevent that? Because it doesn't mean that.
Just maximize your life. Do different things every day. Try and get out there. Yeah. Just maximize your life. Routine is good, but to an extent, you don't want to be so monotonous. That's the real way to slow down aging.
Yeah, I think also, when I live my life, I just think, you want to make the most of your time, right? You want to do as much as possible, because I feel like there's you can go quite far. If you really commit yourself to just trying to do as much as possible, I feel like you can do surprisingly a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know, maybe if everyone shared this mentality, then not necessarily, but I think that there are big changes and improvements we could see in the way that things operate and society works. But I don't know, to be honest. What do you think of that?
I think so, but I think it's hard for people to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, inevitably it's hard, right? Even just the resistance of like saying, okay, we're going to record this podcast today, right? I mean, it takes momentum, and it takes, it takes a change in momentum. It takes some force, basically.
Yeah, force needs to enter the system, or energy needs to enter the system.
He'll just sit in front of a camera and like actually.
Yeah, and then to be able to actually talk and say things and then come up with a list, and then then we have to edit it, etc. Everything worth doing takes effort, and that's inevitable. It's cliche. It's something that is already known.
Yeah, it is known. It's just I feel like it's forgotten these days. A little bit of effort, it does go a long way.
People are just expected to have everything spoon fed to them.
So it all goes back to social media.
Yeah. Not even social media.
No, it goes not even social media. Let me change that. It goes back to short form content.
Yeah.
That's where everything started, bro.
Which our generation is, I think, like not used to adversity as maybe older generations are.
I don't know. I think you're giving the older generations too much credit.
Maybe. But
I think everyone says this though. Like, you know, their generation can't handle it as much. And
yeah, but even like I see younger generations can't handle it as much as ours. I'm not saying we can handle that much either.
That's true. As
Yeah,
well.
but they have been truly shafted by technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not really their fault.
Is it technology's fault, or is it just like the natural progression of society?
No, I think this like era of technology is genuinely the most damaging for like children's development, bro. So
I think
it's not the same as before.
You know that thing about like people creating difficult times and like, you know, the whole thing about like, you know, like good men, bad times, and then bad times, bad men, etc.
Can you say that again?
It's like, what is it? It's like
bad times, good men, good men.
it's like bad times
bad
create
times,
good men,
bad
good men create good times create bad men create bad times. I
Yeah.
think there's
Say
two.
that one more
And then
time.
bad times.
Say that one more
All right,
time.
all right. So, good men create good times.
Yes.
Wait, is that how you sure that's how it started?
No.
I don't know
No,
where
you
it
said
starts.
it started with bad
It's a
times
circle,
create
it's a
good
circle.
men.
It doesn't matter.
Circle.
It doesn't matter where it starts.
Yeah,
Okay, so
bad
good.
times create good men. Good men create good times.
Yeah.
Good times create
Bad men, and
bad
bad men create bad times.
and that creates good men.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say
Yeah.
is, I think that people can escape from that cycle by, for example, now that we're in a good time, people have a choice to either be lazy and become bad men, or they have a choice to continue working hard and stay as good men. And then that enables them to push the swing a little bit, right? Like, instead of having a swing, that's how you change the inertia. That's force, right? You move society, you progress society because you don't let yourself become complacent.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine as soon as someone invented fire, they became complacent and then they got eaten. So then it's like you've gone back to just square zero.
Yeah.
But if you maintain some inertia and force and you don't let yourself become fully complacent, it doesn't have to be 100%, but like
Yeah.
to an extent you keep
going,
applying that force, then you can actually make like a village, then you can, you know, make some farms, you know, you keep evolving. And so it's just about maintaining that force and inertia to really be able to develop yourself and your society.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
We've gone 1 hour 7 minutes.
To be fair, that's pretty long actually.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty good.
Good first podcast back.
Third
Yeah.
podcast back.
And I
Could
feel
be
like there's still a lot
first
more
debut.
to talk about as well.
Yeah. Should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon
but
we
yeah,
wrap it
And that
up.
was good.
that was good. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
We'll be living together next year, so
We've
Yeah.
been living together
yeah.
for this
Yeah.
past 6 months.
Yeah, we have, but yeah, as in we'll
Mm.
record more often.
Yeah, I'm excited for more episodes. I think if we stay on it, it's gonna be good.
We should do an episode abroad. Actually, that'd be
An
fun.
episode abroad.
That
Yeah, let's
would-
do it in Cabo
let's-
Vero.
Yeah, I back it actually. You know what? We should do that.
Yeah.
To be confirmed.
Yeah. No, but yeah, Aaron, we should do one abroad though. I actually back that.
I would actually be quite interested in doing an episode abroad.
Yeah, I think okay. So stay tuned for part 2, coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this like episode 1? Is it a new slate?
No, this is
Or still
Well, I don't know. I'd say no. We're still going. I'd call this episode 6. now.
this is episode 6, but like
Mm.
it's new season 2.
Season
New
2.
season. Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Okay, so yes, episode 6 in the entire series, but
It's actually
season
like
2, episode 1.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 1.
Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get that.
All right.
Well, thanks so much if you made
Yeah,
it this far.
Thank you.
If you made this far, leave a like and subscribe.
Yeah. If you made it this far, you're a real one.
Yeah, we'll leave.
Yeah,
have
comment.
that.
We'll leave everyone's.
Wait,
socials.
no. Let's tell them to comment something.
Comment.
Yeah. If
made it.
you got this far, comment. No, but people will just skip to this. But anyway, fine.
Comment
whatever.
Iceman if you made it this far.
Comment Iceman if you made it this far. Okay.
Iceman.
Really, really nice, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's alright, man.
No, comment your favorite song from Iceman.
Comment your favorite song from Iceman if you made it this far.
And if it's not Run to Atlanta, get out.
If it's not.
And obviously, what did I miss? Is just like not doesn't count.
Yeah,
It was a
it's
single.
If it's If it's
I-
cheetah print.
That's not Iceman.
That's
that's
where's that? 50.
See ya. Bye bye.
Fair.
Alright, guys. Alright,
Bye.
we have to clap again.
Clap out.
3, 2, 1.
Oh no! We have to like just one person do it because then one person.
At the same
one person.
time, just lock in.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.